Yeah, the lockdown rat was a name we coined kind of end of March, April 2020. Um, and as the name suggests, it was linked with the lockdown, but it should probably be called the commercial food waste rat, really, or the lack of commercial food waste, because what we started seeing, and we just got a massive spike with our domestic customers getting in touch with us and saying, we've seen rats in the garden, we've seen rats on bird feeders, we've seen rats running under our sheds and our decking. Um, so it was a major problem, and caused in some respects, and what our part of London, it caused a public safety um, problem. And essentially, what had happened was all the business had closed down. So we have all these commercial food handling, restaurants, cafes, food production that had just stopped and closed, especially that early start or that early period of lockdown. But the waste was there. And once the waste had gone and been taken away, then there was no food. And you can have the best restaurants in the best areas of the world, but we're always going to get an overflow of food waste. And with that, rats will come and feed off it. So we have all these rats feeding off this food waste that had been going on for months and months, years and years, especially if an establishment hadn't looked after their waste properly. So you have this colony of rats, and quite often these commercial units, these restaurants and cafes, they're within urban environments, they're within metropolitan areas and very close, within throwing distance away from homes, whether that's houses or flats. And those rats needed to survive, those rats needed food. So without the commercial waste, they migrated out, and they migrated out en masse. Normally a rat will or can travel up to 30 meters, which is quite a distance for a small rat. But we were seeing rats travel, 100 meters to get to their nearest food source, or that reliable food source, what they need. If you look at a decent sized rat, 300 grams, they need 10% of their body weight a day. So you're looking at, 30 grams a day just to survive, and times that again and again. And you look at a small colony which is established by a pregnant female can get up to between 8 and 11 rats really quick. They breed, then that pregnant female, the gestation will be 3 weeks, and then they're getting pregnant again, and 3 weeks later there's another 6 to 11 in the nest, and again and again. So you can get to 50 rats pretty quickly if there's plenty of food source. And that's what we were finding, all these rats out they went. And then we twin that with this great spring, the beautiful weather we had in spring, where people were having barbecues. So essentially there was food waste outside. We were spending more time in our gardens, and we were feeding birds because we were enjoying being outside, especially those that had the outside space. So that was bringing rats in as well. It was just this weird anomaly, really, and we've seen small spikes when we've been kind of partially locked down or locked down again. But I don't think we're going to ever see that again. That amount of rodents going into people's gardens. But if in future, just in general, we want to be looking at kind of three things really. We want to be removing food and water, and which includes handling our waste properly and making sure that's put out in the right place. We want to be making sure we haven't got a build up of rubble or debris anywhere where they can make their nest and burrow in. And another thing is, in this situation, we just keep an eye out on our neighbours, look over our garden fences, see what's happening in a neighbour's garden. There was lots of vulnerable people that really suffered and are still suffering with pests because of this COVID lockdowns and these restrictions. So yeah, just take an eye and look after our neighbours. And if you do see a problem, contact your council or contact a private company to come out and give you assistance.